Hi everyone and welcome. We are diving deep into conversations about how our subconscious mind works, the subconscious transformation beyond the surface level, and how those identity shifts happen, how behavior patterns change. And for those who are new here, my name is Katerina Misko and I am transformational mentor and subconscious master who works with hypnotherapy and transformational sessions. And I am joined here with my co-host Robert Walton and our special guest Dr. Michael Harris. Okay, and I'm seeing that you're joined. You can request for joining and I will add you both of you to our live stream. And welcome everybody who is joining us. We're really happy to see you. Hi, Michael. Welcome. It's
Hi.
great to have you. And now we are waiting for Robert to join us as well, our co-host. How have you been?
I've been okay.
Awesome.
I'm trying to pick out your accent. Where are you from?
I'm originally from Ukraine.
Okay, that makes sense.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. And Robert, hi. Good to see you.
Hello, everybody. Michael, nice to meet you, sir. Katerina, always nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. And I already gave the introduction to our lives. And then also I will introduce Dr. Michael and let the audience know that Michael has over 25 years of experience as a a certified clinical hypnotherapist, master NLP practitioner, speaker, trainer, and author. He has worked with Olympic athletes, CEOs, entrepreneurs, and people from all walks of life, helping them transform behaviors, beliefs, identity patterns, and subconscious conditioning. Michael, welcome. We are
Thank you.
really happy to have you here.
Excellent. Thank you for having me. It's, yeah, I love to talk about hypnosis. It is the best kept secret on the planet. It's possibly the oldest medicine that we have, if you consider, rituals, prayer, ritual tattooing, etc. All of those induce trance. So, you guys are welcome. Pick my brain. I am whatever it is that you guys want to talk about.
Absolutely. We have a list of questions that we will be, we'll also usually have a natural flow of conversation. So it
Okay.
makes sense. And our first question would be, how did you originally get into hypnosis?
Completely by accident.
Oh, wow.
That happens a lot on this channel. Yeah.
Yeah. Thousands of years ago, when I still had hair, I worked for a out of college, and I worked for a construction company that did marble walls, marble floors, ceilings, mausoleums, and they moved into heavy construction. And as I worked my way up through the ranks and started managing jobs and whatnot, I noticed that there was a huge disparity between the conversations I was having with management versus the conversations I was having with rank and file. And one day I was looking at a giveaway newspaper that they have in the Dallas area, or Dallas Fort Worth area, and it's called the Green Sheet. And in the back was this little advertisement for a communication class. So I went to the communication class, and it was NLP. And I called my boss. Pardon me. I called my boss and said, "Hey, they're doing this weekend thing. You know, if I pay for it, will you reimburse me? It'll help managers and superintendents and foremen communicate better with the journeymen and the helpers." And they're like, "Sure, no problem." And I went to that weekend course. I was hooked forever. And consequently, I went through the practitioner training, and I went through the master's training. I went through the health practitioners training. And one of the things that was really interesting about the NLP training back then, it has changed since then, but there was a tremendous amount of focus on this is just like hypnosis. You don't really need hypnosis. You can do this, and that really never set with me. If somebody's telling you you don't need something, I want to know what that something is. So ultimately, it's like you've heard of Bruce Lee. Okay, Bruce Lee created his own martial arts system and stuff, and he goes like, you don't need karate, you don't need kung fu, you don't need this, except for he was trained in kung fu, he was trained in Wing Chun, he trained himself in Taekwondo, he trained himself in boxing, and at his level, I get it. You don't need it. But when you are bringing people up through the ranks, they need to understand the basics of trance. So even when they're doing NLP, they understand the basics of what they're doing. Are they doing an induction? Are they doing a deepening? Are they doing physical change work on the presenting problem? Are they giving post-hypnotic suggestions? And yes, you can do all of that conversationally. Where's my magic pen? So, without waving your magic pen, and you can just have a conversation with somebody, but you need to be able to track what's going on. The other thing that I am keenly aware of was as I was trained and in NLP and in clinical hypnosis, there's a lot of thought behind this is trance, this is waking state. Well, what if it's not? What if you're in trance every single moment that you're alive? But the question would be, or the question now becomes, are you in the trance you want to be in? Are you in a trance that allows you to feel good, be empowered, take on challenges, and remember all of the times that you've won, even back to the very first time that you tied your shoes? Or are you in a trance that reminds you of every single solitary mistake that you've made, and therefore whatever it is that you think about next is going to turn out like that? So
beautifully said. Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead, Robert. That's okay.
No. I was Donald, please continue. I thought I interrupted him.
No, occasionally I stop talking. It's rare, but
especially when we talk about topics that we are passionate about, hypnosis, subconscious work, and that is fascinating. How at the most unexpected moments of our life, we get to be introduced to what truly resonates with our heart.
Absolutely.
That is incredible.
One of the simplest things that I ever heard was from a guy you may have heard of him, Anthony Robbins, and that guy. And I was listening to one of his audios, and I don't recall if it was "Awaken the Giant Within" or if it was "Unlimited Power," one of those. And he was talking about a really simple concept, and that really simple concept is how easy is it for you to succeed or win? How easy is it for you to fail? And the example that he gave, well, he was talking about somebody who decided that in order for him to succeed, all he had to do was wake up. And I thought about that, and this was in my early career. I didn't have any hypnosis experience at the time. It was just NLP training. And I unintentionally gave myself a really great trance induction by saying, okay, that's what I'm going to do. In order for me to win the day, I have to wake up. So when I wake up in the morning, regardless of whatever else happens, I'm already successful. Now, the second part of that question is how difficult or how easy it is for you to fail. So I created something, and when you hear it, you will just go, that is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. But it was intentional. In order for me to fail, I would have to do absolutely nothing. And then I'd have to go outside, which, oh, by the way, is doing something, and hang upside down in a tree, which is also doing something. So in essence, what I've made it inside of my head, it's impossible for me to fail. As long as I continue doing what I'm doing, as long as I get up the next day, I have won the day. And
I like that. Yeah.
And that is the type of mind virus that I would love to infect all of your listeners with, so that they can go and do and be whatever they want. If they're willing to work for it, boom.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a subtle but powerful shift. It is.
Mm-hmm.
It is. And it feeds right into the mindset of, it's not the big things you do every day, it's the small things you do constantly that build up your success over time.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Yes.
I love that, man.
I really liked what you said about the awakening part of state of mind, because I was reading some books of Vadim Zeland, and he's a philosopher, also physics, and works with subconscious. And there was a concept that our mind cannot distinguish when we are dreaming, when we are in our sleep, and when we are in our reality, because it's actually a masterpiece to wake up in the reality that we believe we are in.
Mm-hmm.
Who said that? Who is that?
Vadim Zeland.
Vadim Zeland?
Yes.
Yes.
Let me do it. Vadim Zeland.
I will include the author's name in our description of our recording of live stream.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
He's a good Irish kid from Chicago. Yeah, that's it.
He sounds like a unique individual.
Yeah. Well,
I'll tell you that the physics.
And I am a huge fan of physics, metaphysics, and the whole process. You've probably heard about this test that they did, where they set up this test and they fired photons, through a little hole at a target.
The double slit experiment.
Right. And when nobody was looking at it, it did whatever it did. And when people watched it, it did something completely different.
Mm-hmm.
So if you've got your hemp clothing on or your tinfoil hat nearby, okay, does that does that also include our reality in which we are where we are consciously, but also unconsciously observing how we walk through this world? The best analogy, I personally believe, I'll give you two different analogies. One analogy is that your unconscious mind is like an elephant, and you, the conscious mind, you're riding the elephant, and when everything's groovy, the elephant will go in the direction that you want it to go, except for, when a tiger pops out of the jungle, then you're going to go with the elephant. Okay. The other analogy that I heard, which I currently subscribe to, is you have a mind, and and that mind includes your thought, your consciousness, but it also includes your body. You may be aware that we have as many neuroreceptors in our head as we do in our chest and in our belly. Okay.
The three minds. Yep.
Yes. And three hearts. Okay. So my model of consciousness is let's say that we're in a space and it's pitch, or let's use a warehouse just for fun. Okay. You're in a warehouse and it's full of stuff, and you've got a flashlight, and whatever you shine your flashlight on, that is what we call our conscious mind. Whatever is illuminated by the flashlight but not directly shown upon would be your subconscious mind. And whatever else is in the warehouse is part of your mind. You just can't see it, or you may not be perceiving it at this time or in this context, but it's still there.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Okay.
Makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Makes sense to me. Let me add one thing to that, please. Let me go to the next question, because I love these conversations. I heard a good analogy about this too. And the analogy is, you're in your own personal boat. And your boat is your subconscious mind. And the boat is shaped in a certain way.
Mm.
It's in the ocean. And as in the ocean itself is the quantum field, the quanta. So as your ship goes through the quanta, the universe shapes to your subconscious mind. And as you pass by it, it goes back to what it was. Like, that's how I see it. Like, however you build your ship is the kind of ocean you're going to experience.
That is a great analogy.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Katerina, anything from you on that, please?
I honestly will say that those are the greatest analogies that I've heard. And then also, when just one little thing before we move to the next question, but I would love to add. And it's amazing, like when we talk about, now you touched a little bit on quantum fields, and the quantum, when that's part of the mind, when we can deassociate ourselves from the personality, from this where we are at, and become a complete quantum emptiness. And it's like when you can combine absolutely everything and absolutely nothing in one concept.
Can I add one more thing to that?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay.
I like that.
Yes, I'm 100% on board, and I'd like to say, and ... Are you familiar with string theory?
Yes.
Okay, so you shoot a photon that way, and you shoot a photon that way, and in some way, shape, or form, you modify the path of that, an electron. You modify the path of that electron. That electron also is affected. So what if in our consciousness that we set an intention for ourselves, as instead of making the world a better place for us to live in, what if we made the world a better place to be? and through personal work and changing ourselves that it vibrates out. And if you talk to the Chinese or talk to the Japanese, it's 3 generations up and down. So do I believe that generational healing is possible? Absolutely.
Good answer. Good damn answer. Yeah. Katerina, you had a good answer too.
Thank you.
I love that.
Yes, it's amazing. And I feel like we could even do the separate topic just to cover this area on the live stream someday.
Let's do it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Are we ready to move to the second question?
Of course.
Yes.
Oh, we're on the first question still. Oh, it's 20 minutes in.
I know.
Well, just in case you guys know, my next appointment is Tuesday. So you guys take as much time as you want.
I believe that is a wonderful idea. I believe that Instagram Live, they have a limitation, several hours. Like I believe it's 2 or 3 hours max at one session. Yes, but Robert, would you like to go with the second question, or would you like me to read?
Absolutely. Let's see. Number 2. Michael, what fascinated you most about the human mind early on?
I have to ask a question first. You're Ukrainian. Is that water or vodka?
Great question. Well, this is the water, but it's for me. It's only 11:22 a.m.
Okay. Okay.
But
So,
yeah, great question.
I'm sorry, Robert. Would you ask your question again?
No, that was a better question than mine. Shoot. No, the second question. What fascinated you most about the human mind early on?
I don't think that I made that jump until after I started training in NLP. The step before that was I knew things in my world, and I saw things out there in other people's worlds that it just wasn't right. People were having trouble. Everybody was talking, using the same language, but nobody was understanding what was being said. Nobody, and you can extrapolate that in when you Robert, I don't know. I know you do hypnosis. Do you work with couples?
No, I did not. No, I'm not doing that.
If you ever decide to do that, make sure you get a referee, black and white shirt, and a whistle. Okay. But one of the things
I might be having an issue right now. My dog might need me. I gotta go. Excuse me.
Okay, that's all right. That's all right.
We'll be here when you get back. One of the things that I find real typical in relationships, and it could be in families or siblings, is we are, and maybe it's Americans, I don't know, we have this arrogant expectation because I speak English and you speak English, and we both, grew up and had a family and ate food, and maybe, I don't know if you celebrate Christmas or any of those. Okay, any of those things. Therefore, we're the same, right? Okay. And I have a sister. She is 4 years older than I. Okay. Therefore, to wit, by proxy, I've been around her my whole life, and most of hers, and we have completely different experiences of what it was like. My dad was in the military, and then he was ultimately in aerospace. So we traveled, we moved a lot. I loved it. awesome. And consequently, you can pick me up and drop me off in Czechoslovakia with no money, and I don't speak Czechoslovakian and what is that, and you come back in a month, and I will have a job, I'll have a rudimentary ability to communicate myself, and I will have moved into that community in a way where I can stay there forever if I choose to. Conversely, my sister is she wants things exactly the same. And she lives in a very small town in Texas. And it's actually kind of funny. She and her husband have lived in that small town since her children were babies.
Wow.
Her children are locals.
Mm-hmm.
They are outsiders. So there's that type of thing, and learning how to be present and be of service to people that I'm working with. You have to abandon what you know. You have to just presuppose that you don't know one single solitary thing about their problem or whatever it is that they want to do. And you very carefully, you take off one of your shoes and socks and you dip your toe into their pool so that you can understand the types of decisions that they are making based on their model of the world. Mm-hmm. Because if you presuppose that you know all, you're going to make a ton of mistakes. And my methodology really for helping people is I put them in a position where they discover the solutions themselves. And frequently I get those phone calls where they go, after last session, I had this great idea, which I probably fed to them conversational. But they go, I had this great idea and I've done this and everything's wonderful and I don't need to see you anymore. Okay, great. If for the people that are listening out, if you're going into hypnosis so that you get a ton of attaboys, you're going to be sorely disappointed.
That's a good one.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, but it's an interesting. We're still on your same question, Robert.
Okay.
About thinking that you know what it is that somebody means when their mouth is moving and words are coming out. Mm-hmm. And I have a tendency, it drives my wife insane, but I have a tendency to be very precise about what, if I don't understand what the person means, I will ask them to repeat it, or I will ask a different question and go, okay, I don't understand. Explain this to me. How did you arrive at this process? So now we're talking about we've gone beyond habits and behaviors, and now we're talking about beliefs and values.
Yes.
Okay. Because when you start working at that level, this is the level, that and identity is when you get to the part where people experience profound change. And if I can expand on that just a little bit, and see if this is true for you as well. I'm sorry. Is it Kate?
Katerina, yes, and I can go.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Katerina works for me. Katerina, are you also a trained hypnotist?
I am, yes.
Excellent. Okay. So this question is for you as well as Robert. When you were trained, they taught you to make changes from the bottom up. Environment, habits, behaviors, capabilities, then beliefs and values, then identity, and then purpose.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Have you ever thought about doing it the opposite way?
If you would ask me, I would say yes, I have. But when we work on a surface level, we will not get to the root cause of what is. We would be working with the symptoms, where we would need to work with the what is causing it. So in my practice, I go to the root cause. What is exactly what is that reason?
Mm-hmm. You've heard of the metaframe, right?
Yes.
Okay, so it's like, okay, what's the problem? Can you think of an exact time that happened? Okay, what do you want instead? Oh, really? Have you ever had that happen before? Oh, great. Let's have a conversation. I've just done a visual squash and slam those two things together, and you can watch people when you do that and watch them go and vibrate.
Yes.
And as they're vibrating, you go, that's awesome. Why don't you just take a nice deep breath and close your eyes?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I don't.
That's a good induction.
Yeah.
I no longer work bottom up. I work top down, and I no longer do individual sessions. I mean, both of you guys have had the experience of somebody come in and they have this problem and they experience it this way and they want it done and gone. Great. And then you're working with them, and in the middle, and you're paddling down the stream, and in the middle of the stream, they change boats.
Yeah.
Okay. One of my mentors, Stephen Gilligan, actually did this fantastic program, and there's actually that's how old it is. There's a tape series. It may be digital now. I don't know, but it's called "The Problem Is the Solution," and we can go in any direction that you guys choose to, as far as when somebody has a presenting problem. How is it? You can be asking yourself, by sticking your toe in their, into their pool, of how is this symptom, as it were, part of the solution to the actual problem.
Mm-hmm.
I completely agree with that. Follow the trail back. Yeah.
And follow the trail back, and it's like that guy literally changed the whole direction of my work, and consequently now the majority of what I do is I actually teach hypnotists how to use language patterns, how to use the Ericksonian method. I call it Ericksonian alchemy, because I'm not really interested in creating people that want to have a competition for who ends up in the golden wheelchair. That's not the purpose. That's not the purpose of learning how Erickson works. I also use a fellow that you may or may not heard of, is Dave Dobson. And Dave Dobson and Milton Erickson were both trained by a fellow by the name of Clark C. Hall. And where's his book? It's here. I just can't put my hands on it. Okay. And if you've ever read, it's called Hypnosis and Suggestibility. And if you're going to go to eBay, get ready to pay $100 or more for that book, because it is totally out of print.
Mm-hmm.
And are you guys familiar with Robert Dilts?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, I trained with him as well. And if you've ever read any of Robert's books, bless his heart, he is absolutely one of the most precise human beings you'll ever meet. Reading his books are very similar to reading stereo instructions.
Delightful.
Okay?
Yeah.
Yes. And Hall is the same way. When they were doing hypnosis and suggestibility, nobody was doing hypnosis and suggestibility. I mean, Erickson, they tried to take his medical license 5 times for doing hypnosis. The only thing that saved him was in the AMA, when you're being accused of doing something, you can speak for yourself. Now, think about that for a second. You got the guy who literally created conversational hypnosis, and you've given him permission to speak for himself. He was acquitted 5 times. But this is, to me, this is the power of what we do. Do you guys still do formal inductions?
It depends on the session, depends on the person.
Yeah, if they come in, if somebody comes in and they go, oh yeah, I've done hypnosis before, I'm like, great, what did the guy do? Or what did she do? And, if they tell, I'll recreate that for them if that's what they want. Okay, but that's not generally how I work. I mean, this is pretty much a hypnosis session right here. I've seen you guys blink in and out several times, so I'm just going to keep going.
Sounds good to me. I heard free help.
Yeah, I would say every conversation that we have here on live streams are really therapeutical, and they're expanding our minds and minds of our audience. So it was a really, really great part of our live stream. And I also think if we could continue with the third question, how do you feel?
What, with my fingers? How do I feel about what?
Go to the third question.
You know what? I am 100% on board with going to the third question.
Amazing. Michael, when you said about being precise, that clicked with me because I'm the same way. If I need to understand, I need to make sure I understand correctly what people say, what people mean. And also going back to connect a couple dots during our conversation. So like that state of awakening and asking questions, the more questions we ask, the more we help people to awaken themselves and get more present into. And the third question is, what are some of the most common self-sabotage patterns that you have seen?
I don't know that we have enough time to answer that question.
Okay, how about one? The number one.
I'm pausing. Yes, I have picked one. Okay. People have a tendency to expect that they will feel good, feel confident when they're doing something completely new. And that is not how our brain works. The way that our brain, our consciousness works is by association. The reason that we don't have to relearn what a door is because anything that is remotely door shaped that has a handle or a doorknob, your brain goes, oh yeah, that's a door. I know exactly what to do. And it wouldn't matter if it was round or oval or rectangular or square or whatever. It goes, that's a door right there. All right. And then you take you take somebody and they've decided that they're going to get a new job. They're going to get married. They're going to leave a relationship. They're going to take on a different career. They need to pause for a moment and create some associations where their unconscious mind, the part of them that keeps them alive and safe goes, oh yeah, this is like that. And I have told you guys don't know me. I've been doing yoga for 500 years, and and prior to that, I played sports and I fought full contact and I did this and I did that, and then I started taking yoga. And yoga didn't have anything to do with what I knew. The breathing was different. The process was different. The outcome was different. And a buddy of mine, he actually used to work for me, and he went to India and learned all this. And he's like, you got to try this out. And I'm pretty good at keeping my word. So I promised him that I would do, it was $10 for 10 days. You had to go 10 days in a row, but, and I called that poor guy every single day after yoga class and complained bitterly about everyone and everything except for me. And you can kind of see where this is going. And he's like, keep going. And he pissed me off. And it's like, okay, fine. I'm going to keep going until, I get whatever this ultra mega yoga guru thing that you got going on. So I literally went 36 days in a row. And the 36th day, I don't know if you guys have ever taken hot yoga. Okay.
Yes,
but,
I have.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I like yoga.
So when I say the words, I swam to the edge of my mat at the end of class and got out and took a shower, to cool down. I went out and sat in my car, and, we're in Texas, so it's probably 105 outside, but it's not hot because, hot yoga. And I'm sitting in my car, getting ready to go home, and I had this thought. And that thought was, today sucked less than all of the other 35 days. Now, that may not sound very positive, but in my mind, it's like, I wasn't expecting to go from here to here. Like when I got to here, day 36, and it sucked less. We're headed to the mountain.
Right.
Right. Okay. And I did 54 days of yoga in a row before I had to go do something. It was like out of town or unavoidable or whatever it is. Mm-hmm. But just like NLP, from that point forward, I was hooked. Mm-hmm. Okay. Some people at the end of their day, because they want to change their physiology, they'll have a beer or a glass of wine or in Katerina's case, a glass of vodka like this. Yeah. Okay. And what they don't realize is that exercise, and particularly hot yoga, I mean, you want a physiology change, that will do it. You've got the heat. Yoga's hard to start with because your muscles, they don't know what to do. Then you have the heat, and that heat, your body will automatically begin to protect itself. So it drives your consciousness inward. Oh. Yeah, Robert, you got to try this. That way you can call me back up and go, I am going to fly to Fort Worth, Texas, and beat you to death. Yeah.
I'm listening, man, and it sounds interesting. I've only been to one yoga class, and that was Kundalini yoga.
Okay.
And that was crazy. I was sitting in front of the teacher, 10 feet away, seemed pretty cool. As soon as he started teaching and projecting, I felt something go off my arm, and I was drunk on energy. I'm like, oh, okay, I was right there. But I've never had hot yoga.
Well, I started in hot yoga. My buddy still owns 800 yoga facilities and all of this stuff. My personal favorite is Ashtanga, which is an 8-arm, and like you really haven't had a beating until you've done Ashtanga yoga, hot or not. It is just absolutely amazing. And what I find truly amusing is you talk to somebody and go, oh yeah, yoga. Yeah, I could really work on my flexibility. Okay, they have
That's the Western stuff. Yeah.
they have no idea that they just have embarked on the most massive strength and mobility program possible. And just FYI, it's been around for about 5,000 years. They've kind of worked the bugs out.
Yeah, by now, right? Yeah.
It may seem really easy, but it actually is not. Like it's a lot of work, especially how
Yeah,
yes.
it's a lifetime practice. I've been doing it
Yeah,
for almost 30 years.
that's amazing.
Very cool.
Yeah.
No, it's really nice having somebody with your experience on here, man. It really is nice. Thank you.
Yeah,
Apparently,
absolutely.
I've done some stuff, but to me, it's kind of like, everything is hypnosis.
It is.
Yes.
Everything is hypnosis, and it's like getting comfortable with, who you are,
Mm-hmm.
who you aspire to be, learning from, and there's we could talk about processes all day long. I spend almost a zero time in the past. Okay. Now, whatever lessons that I've learned, I have those lessons. The details of how I learned those lessons, particularly if there's something other than positive, they're back there. But I want to know what did I learn? What did I derive from it? What is the positive intention of whatever behavior it is? If you've got somebody, and we've been joking about drinking, you got somebody who's smoking or drinking, or they're engaging in what might be described as unhealthy behavior. But great. What's the positive intention of that? Okay. Are you trying to solve something? Or are you trying to soothe something? Or are you trying to protect something that you don't want anybody to see? Or you don't want to feel? Or it's something that can't be spoken. Okay. I don't do it anymore, but I used to have an office, and I haven't had an office since COVID. I closed it down, and I just see people via Zoom. But when I had an office, I used to do a thing. Katerina, you guys have any holiday that's like Thanksgiving?
We do have Christmas, Easter, but we do not celebrate Thanksgiving in Ukraine.
Okay. What I used to do, the month of November, I would do, when I was still doing single hypnosis sessions, I would do hypnosis for food. And if you brought me food for me to take to the food bank or the home or shelters or something like that, I would do a hypnosis session. Okay. And it was not unusual for me to fill up my SUV 2 or 3 times in the month of November. And I had this one particular lady, I still follow her on social media, came in and sits down, and I'm like, how can I help? And she goes, I grind my teeth. I'm like, great, good job. She's like, but no, you don't understand. I grind my teeth, and like to the point up to and including, she got a dental appliance to prevent her from grinding her teeth. She crushed it.
Oh God!
It's like, are you part pit bull or mastiff or is it?
Yeah.
But she had broken teeth, and she'd had them. That's when she went to the dental appliance and stuff. And I'm like, okay, good. Because when people ask me, can you help me with this? I always say maybe. It's just, I don't want to tell them. Oh yeah, absolutely. Here, let me get my magic. Let me get my magic pen. It's like, so put her in trance. And I told her to begin a conversation with the part of her that was trying to keep her mouth shut. And
I like that.
yeah, okay. And
Yeah.
she's quiet for I don't know how long, you know. Yeah, when you're in trance too, you know, in time distortion. And she was quiet for a little while and goes, "Huh, I never would have thought of that." And I'm like, by the way, one of my skills is not being psychic, so what's going on? And she goes, when I was a kid, she had a boy cousin, and they were best buds forever. And then his parents got a job over on the East Coast, and my brain says it's either Pennsylvania or New York State. So they moved away. And it was winter time, and while the parents were unloading the house and all that other stuff, young man goes out, makes some new friends, and they're out there playing in the snow, and he gets buried in a snow fort, and he dies.
Mm.
Okay, and yeah, and she said it perfectly. I'm from Texas. You don't talk about dead relatives, and you definitely don't talk about dead children relatives. So, you know, I don't know if it was her, I don't know if it was someone else told her, don't talk about this. So that unresolved grief, when she went to sleep, when she was distracted, she was doing whatever, would begin to come up, and her jaws would clamp that shut. So we did a little grief resolution and stuff. Obviously, there were tears, etc. She's never ground her teeth again. Okay, and these are the cool things that we get to do, but you have to be open enough to be accepting of it. Got time for another one? This was one of my favorites. Okay, one of my
That
favorites.
was a great answer. Thank you very much, Michael, for sharing that experience, that case. Because yes, I do notice lots of clients with bruxism issues with the grounding, especially in sleep. And
EMJ,
yeah, yeah,
absolutely.
yeah. So that's there's different sources where it's coming from, and usually from some certain traumatic situations from the past. Yeah.
Do you have time for a weird one?
Uh,
Do you have time for a weird one, a weird session?
yes, I think yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
See,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love it.
I'm seeing a little bit of curiosity over there. Okay, so I had
Okay.
this lady, and she needed a gallbladder removed, and for whatever reason that she did not explain, she had absolutely decided that she did not want her gallbladder removed. She wanted it healed, fixed. She used the word fixed. I'm like, okay, maybe let's see what we can do. So again, put them in the trance, have a conversation with that part of them that is manifesting whatever it is manifesting. And again, she starts crying, and I'm like, okay, what's going on? She goes, well, I need some DNA. All right. Do you know where this DNA is? Well, yeah, it's in my left breast. I'm like, okay, great. So why don't you have a conversation with your left breast and see if it would be willing to lend your gallbladder some DNA so it will heal. She goes, there's a problem. Okay, and I'm, okay, what's the problem? Well, I had my breast removed. Oh, okay. So what would happen if we called in the spirit of your left breast and your spiritual left breast had a conversation with your mortal gallbladder. And she's like, yeah, that'll work. I'm like, okay, have at it. and they're in there, having a cup, and she comes back out. Just by the way, she still has her gallbladder. So for people that are listening and stuff, how flexible can you be in your behavior? That was her reality. That was her reality, that she could manifest her own healing. She needed something, and she knew where that something was. She just needed somebody that would hold that space open long enough for that healing to happen. And that reminds me, anybody who's interested in kind of how I do what I do and stuff like that, if you go to my YouTube, I have a video called Bob the Mammoth Hunter, which it shows you how to facilitate that type of process.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Thank you for sharing that. It's an incredible experience.
I'm writing that down. Bob the Mammoth Hunter. Heck yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, good stuff, man. It's what you express is expressed in, God, I've probably seen it at least 2 or 3 religious books and ancient texts and mystical texts. And somebody very famous in our culture, at least, said it kind of beautifully. And now I'm blanking as how the hell he worded it, but it is done to you as according to your belief.
Mm-hmm.
And that's powerful to human beings. And once you understand that, once you believe shapes your reality, you'd be surprised what you can do. I mean, if anybody's ever read that autobiography of a yogi book right there, I tell people it's great, it's worth it. You're going to have an amazing time. You're going to freak yourself out. And I tell people, especially in the Western world, in America, I'm in Virginia, so I'm kind of in the Bible Belt area almost. I tell people, especially Christians, if you read that book or listen to like audiobook like I do, you'll have a new appreciation for Jesus, but you'll be less impressed. Because he's not the tiger yogi.
Well, I'm in Fort Worth, Texas, which is the polish on the buckle of the Bible Belt.
Best of luck, sir. Yes, best of luck.
Now, I have actually done sessions when I used to work with USA Gymnastics. I would have these young. It was junior Olympics. So I'd have the parent and I'd have the athlete, and it was not unusual for them to bring their preacher or their pastor. Autobiography of a Yogi is excellent, and if somebody's looking for something that will frame it slightly different, get the same message, is Monsters and Magical Sticks.
Writing that down too. Monsters and Magical Sticks. Because it sounds like a childhood play date. Monsters and Magical Sticks. I got me a lightsaber now.
Well, the primary story in Monsters and Magical Sticks was the author is talking about their child who is afraid of closet monsters. Okay, there's a monster in the closet. There's a monster under the bed, and they're like, okay, no problem. Here's what we're going to do. And they go through this elaborate process of go out, select the perfect stick for the wand, and then they find the perfect crystal or rock to attach to, or I don't know. I don't recall if they did a star or if it was a crystal or whatever. Attach it to the stick, and then they make the box. And they line the box with velvet, and then they do all of this process, and you can see how it's going is they're leading them through an intervention, and then they teach them what made up some magical words, and they go to the closet every night and wave the magic wand, and then they wave it under the bed and all this other stuff to the point up to and including the child bringing the box and the magic stick to their parent and say, I don't need it anymore. You need to give this to someone else who is having this problem. I can't think of a better intervention.
No, it's good. I like that. That's a cool story.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you for that.
Thank you. Yes. And now we're 1 hour of our live stream, so we'll be wrapping up a little bit. And Michael, it was great having you today, and an amazing conversation. Would love to host you again. But before we will finish, I would like to ask you if you could share where the audience be able to find you, your website, your links.
Oh, that. Okay, yeah. If they're on Facebook, which is a companion of IG, it's The Real Michael Harris at Facebook.com. On Instagram, it's Michael Harris Hypnosis. And pretty much if you type in Michael Harris Hypnosis on any search bar, if you can't find me, you're not really looking. There are a couple of things, if you don't mind shameless self-promotion, is I have a book bundle that I am promoting, which is called Forbidden Hypnosis, and there's 2 books. One of them is it's Conversational Covert Hypnosis is the first book, teaching people how to facilitate trance, how to be influential, and how to be persuasive conversationally. The second book, which is Forbidden Hypnosis Nonverbals, I coincidentally am doing a 8-week course starting in June on the nonverbal course. So if they go to drmichaelharris.com, or if they go, I'm everywhere. I mean, I'm on TikTok, and I'm on X, and I'm on Facebook and Instagram. And luckily for me, I have a daughter who works for me as a virtual assistant. So that's how I get to be so busy.
It's amazing.
And wait, okay. If they like YouTube, it's Dr. Michael Harris at YouTube, or at Dr. Michael Harris. And I post somewhere between 5 and 10 shorts almost weekly.
Amazing.
So they're
good deal.
Yeah, I'm a content machine.
That's the best way in the modern reality, in the modern world. It's amazing.
I thought of one more thing. I also do on Tuesdays and I advertise it, but I can send you all the links. I do a mastermind, and one of the reasons I decided to do it at 12 noon is because it works perfectly in the UK as well. But I do a mastermind. It's usually 30, 40, up to 15 minutes every Tuesday. And if you're on the email list, and you happen to miss it, or it's not at a convenient time, I'll just send you the recording.
That's awesome. Yes.
I might need to sign up for that. Heck yeah.
Thank you. Yes. That's amazing. And also, Robert and we just are doing a new thing for our guests for every weekly live stream. So now we are asking each of our guests which question you would ask the next guest who will be on our live stream, and that's the question we will add to our question list.
Okay. Do you want an answer?
Yes, please.
Okay. What was their greatest failure?
Awesome. We'll add it to our question list for our next guest. Thank you. Yes, that's a great question.
Yeah, I really believe that we learn as much, if not more, from our failures.
And yes.
And I have a story if you have time. It's quick.
Sure,
Okay.
absolutely. Yes, go ahead.
I worked with a lady,
Mhm.
and this lady manifested cancer 3 times. She had breast cancer, she had brain cancer, and it was a unique opportunity. It's the only time I ever had a chance to work with Steve Andreas, and he and I worked on her, and the and she was cancer free for 5 years. So when the cancer came back, she had cancer in every single bone, every single organ in her body. Our failure was, and you can say, this is my belief. You don't have to accept it or not. It is my belief that it was in her soul contract for her to die of cancer. Why? Couldn't even speculate. Okay. But the third time that it came back so strong and so fast that nobody could stop it. And I think that is part of the things that we have to consider is, are we being of service? Are we servicing our ego, or are we servicing, our clients, the planet, etc.? Because we don't know what the plan is.
Yes.
A year ago, it's actually a year and 6 months ago, I got a phone call. I'm driving down the road, phone rings, it's 7 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, oh, I better answer that. And it's my doctor going, hey, did you know you have diabetes? No. You're like, do you know that your blood sugar is 441? No. Do you know that your A1C is 13.2? Why? No, I did not. And the doctor's like, how come you're not in the hospital on an IV drip? I'm like, clean living? He's like, obviously not.
Yeah.
And it's a message. My body was perfectly prepared to sideline me until I dealt with whatever it was that it did. So I immediately changed my diet, changed literally everything. Within 3 months, my blood sugar was down to 5.6. Or my blood sugars were, 89 to 103. Okay. A1C 5.6. 6 months later, 5.3. Last time I went to the endocrinologist in January, 5.1. In between time, and this isn't a yay me. This is a thing. If you aren't doing daily self-hypnosis, hypnotists, I highly, highly recommend that you keep your instrument clean. And the induction or the trance work that I was working on, number one, if you think about the metaphorical implications of type 2 diabetes, it's bitterness. If you can't stand sweetness, sugar, then what's the opposite of that? So I was doing daily hypnosis and scanning all of my memory banks and contacts and whatever, excluding bitterness and that condition that they referred to as type 2 insulin resistance or type 2. It's gone. And yeah, and then the next over the next 6 months and stuff, what I did was I needed to regenerate my liver, because if you can have fatty liver and not drink, no problem. Okay, you can have problems with your pancreas and where the beta cells are not working with the liver. So I spent 6 months, clearing this, making sure that my pancreas and my liver are buddies and, and partying together, and everything seems to be okay. And again, obviously there's a theme that I don't care what reality that we have to create so that like you can get the change that you want. And I recommend that you try it out on yourselves. Don't get so locked into what you think you know. Get curious about learning something new.
Beautifully said.
That is
Beautifully said.
amazing. Thank you very
Oh,
much. Thank you very much.
oh.
Yes, and before we finish our live stream, is there anything that you would like to add? Maybe anything that you, Robert, would like to add as well?
No, like I said, beautifully said. Doc,
Mhm.
Doc has been great having you.
Yes.
The only thing I would add really to what you're just talking about is we get what we need from the outside to fulfill what's not inside. So for diabetes, I would say, or something like that, I would say, well, would you say you lack a inner sweetness? So you have to get it from the outside. And once you
Mm-hmm.
correct that, you don't need it from the outside anymore.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I would go with that input.
Mhm.
Awesome.
Awesome. Thank you
No,
very much. That's great,
Doc, it was
Hassan.
really nice having you. You're very entertaining, great stories,
Yes.
and I learned a
Thanks.
lot. I don't know about Katerina; she might be
I have
perfect,
learned
but
a
I learned a
lot.
lot.
Absolutely. Yes. It is an honor to have you with us today, Dr. Michael Harris, PhD. It was great seeing
Thank you
you
much.
today. Thank you.
Any time. I'm not even close to out of storage yet.
We will definitely have to do this again.
Awesome.
We'll
Definitely.
be happy to have you. All right. Thank you very much. And I also encourage our audience to leave comments. What are your takeaways, things that you learned from our live stream today? Feel free to share our live stream with your friends and family, because the more people learn about how subconscious work changes, completely rewires us, our brain, our behavior, our identity shifts, everything, the more people know about this, the more people get successful in their lives and make great impacts.
Thank you for having me.
Andrew,
Thank you. Have a wonderful day. Thank you.
take care,
Bye-bye.
y'all.
Mhm.